So,
Who are your followers, or are you just making up as you go along?
make it up as I go along and just kind of
continue with it.
Yeah, just
see where it goes.
Exactly, just how we all started, just
Yeah.
like doing whatever, The last person I podcasted with was that girl on Maui, Paige Alms. She got
right.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I have a
so
little
you're keeping it in the board sports
community. Yeah. So and it's just anyone can do it. You get your phone, you get your recorder, you pop it on, and you just start recording. But
that's awesome.
So I'm sitting here today. I'm with Bryan, aka Beaker. Bill and I, last time we saw each other was probably 20 years ago?
Yeah.
We both met through the sport of skimboarding. I used to compete skimboarding, and I went over to Laguna. And at the time, we're 4 years difference in age, but we were like a little bit of the older guard, and Bill was some of the new Grom going off. And here we are today. He's on Maui. He's actually on my home island in Maui. He's sitting with me here in the studio. And welcome, Bill.
Thanks for having me. Oh.
It's kind of crazy. It's a little reunion of sorts.
So glad that we could get together, and I'm glad we got our work done, so now we can play a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm just the reason we're sitting here today right now is I was lucky enough, Bill's here on Maui. He's in Kihei. I was able to zip over, and we got to, I haven't physically seen him for, a long, long time. But a little bit of history was made yesterday on Maui. I'm hoping it's okay. We can talk about it, and I'm not going to release any of this.
We did it with skimboarded Jaws, right?
Yeah.
I counted. It was like a 10, 12 foot, maybe a little bigger groundswell. Fortunately it was blown to shreds and it looked like a no-go, but seeing as is like the last blip on the radar of the year for swell, and I was leaving, going home, moving out of our haiku place we've been staying at, so why don't we just give it a whirl anyways? And the universe cooperated and let us, make a couple waves, and, the inclement weather helped. There was no crowd except for a couple lokes on the cliff cheering us on, because nobody really wanted to be out there, but we were glad we went when we got home.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, so just to put everything in context, Bill's a California boy. He's been riding every type of board for basically his whole life. This last season, he's been in Hawaii for basically almost the whole winter season. He's been on Oahu, did a couple Misto trips to Molokai. He's here on Maui. I think he goes back to Oahu.
Tomorrow. Going to back to Cali.
Okay.
4.5 months over here filming for our annual skimboard board sport video, and my brother came over and helped out. He had an excuse to come over for the XXL, the Big Wave World Tour event. He came to Maui to cover it. He's the head of the webcast, and they ended up not pulling the trigger, so he flew over to skim with me in Oahu, and then he was here covering the Pipe Masters, doing the afternoons on the deck with Aki was his work, so he'd skim with me in the morning in the west side. He'd have to get back over to Pipe to film Aki in the afternoon, so
nice.
My bro and I got to skim together more than even usual.
That's
as
awesome.
we're getting older
Hawaii.
And more busy at home in California, it turns out that my winter in Hawaii, we got to skim together like it was the good old days at 10th Street.
Wow, that's awesome.
Our careers are really fitting right in with our hobbies and our family, and everything's working out great. And everybody's dream from California is to spend a winter in Hawaii.
In Hawaii, yeah.
I've always said I've wanted to, and finally pulled it off. So I feel accomplished. There was a couple specific goals that I pulled off too. So I just feel really, really satisfied, stoked, and ready to go. Kind of get busy promoting skimboarding from other angles. Doing the Hawaii trip is kind of like the ultimate surf paradise and the ultimate big wave thing, and skimboarding is like kind of a little bit underrated around here, so I kind of felt like it was the time to kind of re-remind the old skimmers and show the kids what's possible in the shore break, and also did a lot of paddle scurfing. Not only my beaker board, it's like a thicker surfboard for paddle skimming.
Right.
but also just paddling a skimboard into waves and kind of like doing that. Same as an Alaya, but I think it's a little easier than an Alaya, and the boards, it's able to do like more relevant skateboard maneuvers, and it's actually probably like one of the most innovative sports around going on, but it's not really a sport. It's an art form, which is what makes it so much fun.
All the lines are definitely blurred because, you know, for those that are listening, there's a whole lot of history that we could get into, and that's a whole nother interview. But the sport of skimboarding is how this is all originating. You know, I myself grew up on Maui skimboarding as a kid and surfing and all that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, in California, Bill is growing up skimboarding and surfing and all this kind of stuff. We meet through contests. Life goes on. We all get into different projects and snowboarding and flow riding. But it's all connected to this roots of skimboarding and boards with just rails, no fins on them. And, you know, a lot of this accumulated yesterday. Like I said, Bill's been here all winter long. He did a misto trip to Molokai. He's promoting. He's got some secret top stuff going on. He's got beaker boards, and he's doing some filming, and so there's all this stuff kind of meshing together. We were talking about it a little bit, but you know, his whole life he's doing all this stuff. He's skimboarding, sidewash, flow riders, on the beach, in the sand, out in the surf, and then yesterday he finds himself in the water on the North Shore of Maui, looking at 20-foot waves, and he's out of Jaws, and he's got one of his little top secret weapons, a beaker board. He's got some skim boards, and it all came together with one of the local skimboarders here, Sean. He's not here right now.
Sean McClanahan.
Say his name again.
Sean McClanahan. He's does a lot of skim lessons and competitions here at Maui, especially with under the his business is Skim Hawaii.
Yeah.
And so it was really
he was a
neat
big
to
helpful
kind of
hand.
meet him. We met on the internet, and we ended up meeting in the airport in Molokai. We made friends, and I had actually met him once in Cabo a while back, but we became friends at Molokai through, you know, this. Both of us had this. We had separately come up, you know, through Google Earth with a zone that we both wanted to hit, and it was like coincidental that we had both been looking at this zone. So I said, let's go.
That was on Molokai?
Yeah, I said, we got to go. And he said, I'm too busy or whatever. And then the Surfline reports looked really good for over there. And then I kept rousing him about it. And then we got this epic conditions came together, and it was on my 42nd birthday. And so about a week before, I said, it's going to be perfect on my birthday. You got to meet me there. So we flew over there. My birthday, camped out. And I ended up filming him a lot between my sessions because it's so cool to see somebody putting their all into it.
Yeah.
His whole life, you know, learning how to stand up on a board with no fins.
Yeah.
And, you know, and so I was so stoked to see that there's others out there that could help me show everybody how much fun it is.
Yeah,
you know?
Sean was definitely a big helping hand. What happened yesterday, and that's kind of just, you know, that's what we're here talking. I mean, other than seeing Bill, for myself, we haven't seen each other a long time, and that's super awesome, just sitting here talking story with him. And then the cherry on top of this Sunday right now is the fact that it did accumulate with Bill and Sean basically riding Jaws on skimboarders late in our season. It's March, middle of March right now. That might be the last time Jaws is going to break. And it's just another little bit of history. My last podcast I had, I was talking with Paige Alms, first female to get a true in and out deep barrel out of Jaws, and was able to talk to her. So Jaws is producing some history this year. And like I said, the cherry on top, it was yesterday. You know, Bill and Sean riding. The footage is not out there yet. It's top secret right now. You're going to see these guys busting out with some of this footage later. We'll let you know where you can see it. And it's just some cool shit, man.
Yeah, it's great to see
It's some cool shit that went down, and the fact that I'm sitting here with you.
You know, now I get to go home because my body is beat up and filming every day for 4.5 months. I'm 42 years old.
Woo!
2 or 3 sessions a day, running around, just getting murdered in the shore break, out at Pipe. You know, everywhere I went, I would try to challenge myself, and you know, so I've been looking forward to the getting this done for so many years, and I feel very stoked at this moment and ready for the next thing. I don't know exactly what that is yet, but I know that I'm going to be riding this high for the rest of my life, because when you have a personal best moment, not only is it good for you, but hopefully it validates you, and just kind of a good thing to accomplish goals. On that note, it was the accomplishing of the littler ones leading up to it that helped make that last one I got to shoot with Clark Little was a big goal before I came on this trip. And then
was that on this trip you did that?
Did that the day before I came to Maui. I was like, I can't go to Maui till we shoot with Clark Little. And so right after he posted his shot, we got our asses over here for the next goal. 6 weeks, jogging,
boom,
skimboarding, push-ups, hanging from trees, stretching, do rolfing, yoga, nutrition, just I don't drink anymore. I love drinking beers. I don't do that anymore because I'm looking for these kind of things that, help my family, go into the future. And, I've already done enough partying. It's time for me to party responsibly on the waves and, teach this next generation how to do it without as much kind of that 70s craziness. We were raised with these heroes that were kind of flamboyant, crazy, and party animals. I'm so
burn real hot and then go out.
I'm so glad that I made the cut and I just got it with the times just in time. And all my kids have a better world to look forward to getting through that whole psychedelic 60s and everything. And the world's really tightened up. It's really hip to try hard and to care and to be fit. All that is positive now, or that used to be considered trying too hard or kind of lame. So.
I feel lucky to still be able to surf. Right now, I can go paddle on a surfboard and go surfing, and I feel pretty lucky to do that. I know that there's surfers older than me. I see them surfing, all the brothers and the uncles, and I'm going hey, I want to be there too. I want to be 55. I want to be 60 still getting barreled.
Especially after some of the injuries you've had, your hamstring and stuff that really take a lot of time off and put a lot of doubt into your mind. And then that's the opposite of stoked. So it's so lucky that the two of us crazy men you get to sit here and that we still have arms and legs after all the stunts we've done, especially skimboarding, smashing around the shore break. And I'm glad that we did it long enough to kind of, to make people remember to do it.
Because
keep that sport rolling.
Yeah, because sitting here right now at this point, and if I roll the tape backwards for those people that are listening, I've done a bunch of stuff in my life and had fun surfing and skating and skimboarding. I feel like a little bit of a multi-sports guy, but I'm sitting with Bill, and this guy's sitting next to me right now in our little world of water sports and boards. I'm going to straight out do a little bit of a humble brag for my friend Bill, because I know he won't do it, but he is like a renaissance man in our little water world sports. He's ridden this and that, and it's just, it's a whole nother interview, whatever, but, because I've watched him over the years through magazines and pictures. This is before smartphones, pre-internet, whatever, and I'm watching this guy over the years on all this crazy mediums and all this crazy stuff, and I just feel like it all accumulated yesterday, and the story will go push further on too. But yesterday was definitely accumulation, skimming Jaws on Maui, and accumulation of all this stuff that he's done over the years. We're talking about it, and it's just, this is fucking awesome.
I'm glad that you came over in the late 80s to kind of add a different, more surfy McKenna influence into our sport that actually, directly related to the way I changed the shape of the skimboard for the modern riders. Right. They were wider, egg shaped. You guys were on the crazy Maui Spears.
Yeah.
Immediately after you left, I made something in between that 25 years later is exactly what we wrote at Jaws yesterday.
Wow, that's right.
So from your guys coming up, you kicked our heroes' asses in a way, but you guys battled to this point where you guys showed us everything we needed to know, and then we tried to put it all into one board and one human, so we all became mini versions of all of your guys' best parts.
That's crazy. And it's remained relevant all the way up until what happened yesterday even.
Yeah, Sean, he doesn't know this. Brad
Right.
Domke wasn't even born when you came to Laguna
Right.
Beach. He rode the same shape I made when I was 17 on a 50-foot in and out at Puerto Escondido. It's the largest wave I've ever skimboarded.
Yep. That's
And
something.
it's funny. It's called the Domke model, but it's like if you look
Yeah.
at my board from '88, it's like a millimeter
Yeah.
off because
This is
yours
history,
were like
yeah.
super narrow and thick, and
Yeah.
ours were really flat and wide.
Yep.
And then it just was
It was
like
like-
obvious. You mesh them together, little narrower nose, so it still looks like you're surfing. You
Yeah.
know, and then but you don't want it so narrow that it doesn't plane out.
Yeah.
And so.
The
After
history
it
of everything
come
is
up,
crazy.
But
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind, like, normally I say, I don't do that much twins. I like riding my regular board,
Right.
you know. Yesterday I encountered conditions where it would have been nice to have a custom board. It was going too darn fast.
Right,
and there's
right.
no control when you're going 500 miles an hour into a minefield of chop.
You were literally,
Just skipping, we were off the water more than we were on
but that
the
was
water.
like
So we were kinda like
first
hovercrafting.
of the first, you know.
Which is
Everyone's
cool
been
to do
surfing
it
it.
on a regular skim. I kind of
Yeah.
wanted to nail it
To have a
like, on
baseline.
a stock skimboard.
Yeah.
Just for the story. I'm glad
Yeah.
that we lived because now we can get a heavier, narrower, more tail rocker, so you're able to slow up and get a little more control.
Yeah.
The skimboards are built for speed, and you know, just like maybe one of your old school Maui Spears next time.
Maybe, huh? Was there any super hairball moments yesterday? Did it go pretty smooth? Was there any?
No,
like,
only
well-
like the checking the waves in the morning and
Yeah.
seeing that it was like too big and choppy and like
Yeah.
it wasn't right.
Wasn't the best
and then
conditions, that's
needing
for
to
sure.
pull the trigger. But yeah, once you set it in motion, everything's fine. Like
Yeah.
I could do it, but it's just the leading up to it part, thinking about it, listening to your mind, and
Yeah.
you know, feeling others' doubts, letting them seep into your own head.
Yeah.
It's like the hard part. But no, once you're up and riding, you're looking down a face and you just
It's-
want to shred it and
yeah.
surf it. And it's like,
That's all the instincts right there.
that's when you finally get the name of the surf spot out of your head and you look
Right.
down a wave and you realize it's what you've been doing your whole life and you're like right at home. But, you know, you just jaws and rocks and all the movies.
I know. I could die. Yeah.
If I had it over, I probably wouldn't read as many surf
Right.
magazines
Yeah.
because I have all of Hawaii in my head is built up like so much larger than life. It's
Yeah.
like terrifying to get off the plane. You think you're gonna get like beat up for having a surfboard, you know?
Yeah.
But
I'm Howley. What's gonna happen?
But then you learn what aloha means, and
Yeah.
it doesn't mean like just smile on like yeah.
Yeah.
It means actually respect, which means slow down, downshift. So
Yeah.
this whole trip has been seamless. Anytime I see
Awesome trip.
others in the ocean, I just wait and watch, meet them, throw out my kids first,
Yeah.
catch a few down the beach, let them get used to you. Then they invite you to come surf with
Yeah.
them. Oh, you surf too? You know, and instead of I used to run right off the plane, right out and
Yeah,
catch too
like-
many waves.
yeah,
and
yeah.
of course you'd have a problem anyway
Yeah.
acting like that,
Yeah.
doing anything. So yeah,
So good
I'd
trip.
like to thank everybody for their hospitality and for the aloha, and especially the people that help physically, but
Yeah.
also just the general like surf community of Hawaii. For it is a lot less terrifying here now. Surfing pipeline isn't like completely forbidden. And
Right.
I think the world's better that way. Localism is a thing of the past, and you know, as long as you show respect, I think the whole world we're all like earthlings, you know. It doesn't matter what island or what coast you're from. It's like as long as you act, if you know what's up, you're cool, you know.
Personal style.
Yeah,
You hear that, folks?
It's hard to fit in a while because it's so crowded. It's got the best waves in
Yeah.
the world, and but you should be able to if
Yeah.
you come over and you give you
Yeah.
put your best foot forward and you share. You know, it's good. Now I know that you can come over here and
Yeah.
have a good time, even if it's a little busy. You wait your turn. You just come for a little longer.
Yeah.
And you share as much as you can and things like that.
You know, with the traveling that you've done, I'm sure, in your life, I know you've been around because I've kind of followed you, just seeing in articles and stuff, and I've got fortunate enough to travel around and surf in Indo and Mexico and Central America and the mainland. And, you know, I always believe that it is personal style when you go somewhere, you know, because we can't, everyone's never going to be on the same page, not the whole world all together at once, although we'd love it, but unfortunately it's not. But all you can do is yourself when you go somewhere. Help that person cross the thing, or pick up the bag for the lady, or share the smile, like personally, you know. So It's always come down to that personal style, and you can probably survive anywhere with that personal style of being able to just mesh in, you know.
As we've gotten better at meshing in and traveling more as a family, we've been on a 3-year permanent surf trip. I think we're going to go back and settle down in Laguna for a little while and pop out another baby here.
What? Wow, sick.
So I'm glad I've been traveling a lot. We spent 4.5 months at the beginning of this year in Mexico, and then 4.5 months of the last here. And so
Hawaii,
got to do my biggest dream trips. I've always wanted to do mainland Mexico and in Hawaii for extended trips. And my lady helped make that happen.
Awesome.
So now I'm going to go take care of her.
Okay, well, here she is walking up, so we're going to wrap this up. Thanks, brother Bill.
Yeah, Bennett.
Awesome.
Great to see you.
We'll see you guys later, man. Take care.
You.